Eroding Local Control, Financing Education in a Climate of Change. Chapter 6, Summary Presentation by Michelle Landrum. Can local school entities stem the tide of state control? Should we want them to? Which is better, local control or state responsibility? Historically, local control of schools has been the norm. While states have traditionally maintained official responsibility over the educational process, local school districts and boards have retained primary control over the ways in which students were educated within their communities. The tide is turning. Chapter 6 explores the erosion of local control toward greater degrees of state and federal oversight into the day-to-day operations of local school systems. The school district is the basic administrative unit or entity responsible for the administration and operation of public schools. School districts are operated in a variety of ways based on such factors as economics, local history, and politics within a region. School districts may function as either operating school districts, which perform the operations of facilitating day-to-day educational functions for all or some of the area children, or non-operating school districts, which pay other districts to facilitate the educational functions necessary for all or some of the area children. Over the past several years, there has been a significant decrease in the number of school districts in the United States. In the year 1932, there were 127,649 school districts. In 1950, that number had dropped to 83,178. By 1970, the number had steadily decreased to 17,995 school districts in the U.S. In 2009, the number was 15,285, which indicates that the decrease had slowed but had not completely vanished. There are several variations in the number of school districts from state to state. The number of school districts within states varies based on many factors, including reorganization in some areas that involves combining smaller districts into fewer, larger ones, and the introduction of charter schools within some states. For example, Texas has over 1,500 districts. Hawaii has one. The school board and administrator. School districts are governed by a group called the school board. The superintendent is usually the chief administrative officer over a school board. While these boards maintain control over local school districts, the state was given the right by the No Child Left Behind Act to take over schools that fail to meet adequate yearly progress. There are perceived benefits of district combining. Traditional arguments for district combining involved the idea that greater economy in the operation of schools could take place with the larger districts. In truth, usually the funds saved are simply diverted into some other aspect of educational enrichment. This means that an actual savings in tax dollars is not, in fact, achieved by individual taxpayers. Actual improvements could take place. They include more funds being available for enhanced school programs, a reduction in the range in local ability to pay for education in the wealthiest district as compared with the poorest one. Formulas for calculating state support can be streamlined so that greater equality can result from the reduction of administrative units, and maintenance and operation costs of schools may decrease in larger districts due to greater efficiency. Privatization is defined as shifting the delivery of services performed by public employees to private business. This usually occurs in the form of contracting out or outsourcing, whereby public organizations enter into contracts with private companies for the delivery of services. Why make something when you can buy it much more efficiently? Charter schools often rely heavily on contracting. Tax shifting. Tax shifting often occurs as the result of legal rulings that change the focus of taxes from one to another. An example: new business incentives draw increased sales taxes into certain areas and away from others, the ones from which businesses may have relocated. The decrease in one tax base means that the area must find a way to make the tax dollars elsewhere, for instance, in increased property taxes. This shift in taxation from one category to another causes a continual fluctuation from where local school districts can expect to obtain funds. The textbook says minimal tax shifting is one of the characteristics of a good tax system. Municipal overburden. Municipalities or city governments are not the only beneficiaries of property tax funds. They are expected to share these funds with local school districts. Municipalities fund such non-educational services as firefighters, police, sanitation, and health care with these funds. This sharing of the property tax base can create an overburden in the funding for not only the school district, but the other services as well. Fiscal dependence versus independence. When a school district is considered fiscally dependent, it falls under some degree of jurisdiction by the city or county government, meaning that the city or county government must approve the school board's annual budget. When a school district is considered fiscally independent, it does not fall under the auspices of a city or county government for budgetary planning and/or permission on how to spend its funds. Can local districts stem the tide of state control, consolidation, tax shifting, fiscal dependence, municipal overburden are a few factors among many in the rising tide that pushes against the dam of local school district control. How can local school districts maintain effective and efficient educational services under this rising tide?